I literally can't have a bad hair day. I can also walk faster because I'm more aerodynamic. I can also tell when it's raining quicker than anyone else. I can jump higher, swim faster. I've basically become a god.
Hello everyone, I'm Yopi from yopis.english.school. 本日は若い頃から薄毛に悩まされていたカナダ人のジョーイさんが髪がなくなっていく過程で学んだことについて語るクリップを見ながらネイティブが使うリアルな英会話フレーズを学んでいきます。By the way, if you want to see the original clip, there's a link down below. So without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Growing up, my dad really didn't have much hair, and my two older brothers shaved their head due to male pattern baldness when I was around 12 years old. When they did that at the time, I didn't really think much of it. Probably for like 5 minutes, I said, oh, that's kind of weird, you look kind of dumb. But then the novelty wore off and they were just my brothers. The same brothers that I always knew since birth. But when it was my turn and I started seeing symptoms, I wasn't so nonchalant about it. So when I was 16 years old, my barber told me, hey, you're starting to lose your hair. I kind of freaked out internally. And I was like, you know what? Now I'm gonna look really old. Like I'm gonna look 40 when I'm 17. But I didn't really do anything about it. I started to notice that my hair was starting to recede at the temples, but it was slow enough that I didn't feel the need to do anything about it. I was just hoping and praying that my hair might last me somewhat into university. This is sort of high school graduation territory. You can start to see that I'm receding at the temples fairly significantly for an 18-year-old. So into university, you can see that my hair, it's still there, you know, it's still fairly thick on top, but definitely lots more temple is showing. If I had actually done something about it, I would have had a decently full head of hair to work with and potentially experience some regrowth, but I didn't. I was in denial. I just said, you know what? I don't want to worry about it. I don't really care that much. But I think I did care. It did affect me. So I'd start to wear hats a little bit more often, trying to cover it up, but the hair loss got worse. And here's the weird thing psychologically as to why I didn't shave my head. It wasn't because I wasn't aware of the fact that I would probably look better if I just bit the bullet and shaved my head, but it was just the fact that I had lived my whole life with hair. And it was almost like I didn't want to say goodbye. I attached a part of my identity to my hair. I almost felt like I wasn't ready to become a new person by shaving my head. So here's the year before I shaved my head. Here's a bald brother of mine. Here's another bald brother of mine. Look at this non-bald right here, non-bald right here, non-bald right here. Then here's the funny thing about Daniel is actually he was starting to recede here, but he actually did something about it. And now he has way more hair than he did when he was losing it. That's what happens when you're proactive, not denying reality so he can improve upon it. So at the end of my 4th year, I finally bit the bullet and I shaved it off. So I shaved my head. I think it looks a lot better, to be honest. I was really postponing that. Looks like I'm not trying to hide anything. Anyways, and I sent some photos to my friends and family being like, yo, look, I shaved my head. And they're like, looks good, dude. That's it. You know, I met with some friends that summer and they'd be like, oh, you shaved your head. I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, it looks good, man. That's it. You know, all that buildup for, 22 years or whatever it was led to the reaction of people being like, oh, looks good. And then treating me like they've always treated me. And what I've learned over this whole process is that nobody cares. Even when my hair was receding, nobody's thinking about your hair more than you are. And when you shave it off, nobody cares. Nobody cares before you shave it off. Nobody cares after you shave it off. Do what's best for you. In my opinion, if your hairline is receding to an advanced degree, it probably will look better when you shave it off. But do I care if you shave your hair off or not? No. So just make the decision based on what's best for you. And funny enough, since shaving my head, I feel like I have actually gotten more confident, especially when meeting strangers. And it's totally a subconscious thing, because I don't have to think about the fact that I have an incomplete hairline. I don't have a hairline anymore. I literally can't have a bad hair day. I can also walk faster because I'm more aerodynamic. I can also tell when it's raining quicker than anyone else. I can jump higher, swim faster. I've basically become a god. But in all seriousness, the moral of the story I can conclude from my hair loss journey is that no one really thinks about you nearly as much as you think about yourself. Not even close. Most people, most of the time, are not thinking about you. And that might be a little bit of a hit to the ego, but it's the truth. Most people are mostly thinking about themselves. So to think that people are like sitting down at a Christmas dinner thinking about Joey's hairline is such a joke But that's how our brain, we always think that's going to happen. The same could be said not just about hair loss, but about a mole that you happen to have on your upper lip or a zit that you have on your forehead one day. It's a huge deal to you, maybe, but really, you're just kind of like a background character in most people's lives, and they're not really thinking about you at all. So why would you put yourself through the trouble, the mental distress, to let that affect you?
はい、いかがでしたか？では続いて、ネイティブが使うリアルな英会話フレーズを3つピックアップして解説していきます。1つ目はこちら。
But then the novelty wore off.
The novelty wears off. The novelty wears off. 目新しさがなくなる。Novelty は英語で目新しいもの、変わったものという意味で、wear off は効力、痛み、印象などが徐々に消えていくという意味なので、The novelty wears off で目新しさがなくなるという意味になります。例えば、The novelty will soon wear off even if you're excited with a new car. 今は新しい車に興奮していても目新しさはなくなるよみたいに使うことができます。では2つ目はこちら。
I kind of freaked out internally.
Freak out. Freak out. びっくりする。パニックになる。怒る。非常に便利なこのフレーズ。アメリカでよく使われるスラングです。クリップの中では I freak out と私という意味の I を主語にして使っていましたが You freak me out のようにびっくりさせられた対象を主語にして使うことも多いです。文脈によってびっくりする、パニックになる、怒るこの3つの意味を判断する必要があるので慣れるまでは少し難しいですよね。例文をいくつか作ったのでどういった意味でこの freak out を使っているのか考えてみましょう。
Yopis English School.
Number 1. I remember the first time I went on stage. I freaked out completely. I remember the first time I went on stage. I freaked out completely. こちらの日本語訳は、初めてステージ上に上がった時、私は完全にパニックになりました。なので、パニックになるという意味で freak out 使っていますね。では続いて Number 2.Mum will freak out when she finds out we broke her vase. Mum will freak out when she finds out we broke her vase. この日本語訳は、もし花瓶を割ったことがバレたら、お母さんは怒るだろう。なので、怒るという意味で freak out を使っています。では最後、Number 3. 急に背中を叩かれて、Whoa, you freaked me out. Whoa, you freaked me out. これはお分かりですよね。ねえ、驚かせないでよという意味なので、freak me out でびっくりさせるという意味で使っていますね。基本的にはこの3つの意味で使われることが多いので、文脈によってどの意味なのかを判断できるようにしましょう。では最後、3つ目のフレーズはこちら。
If I just bit the bullet and shaved my head.
Bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. 嫌な出来事を我慢してすること。直訳すると弾薬を噛むという意味のこのフレーズ。麻酔薬がなかった時代、戦場で手術を行う際に舌を噛まないよう弾薬を噛んで痛みに耐えていたことが由来になっています。由来こそかなりエクストリームですが、現代では割と気軽に使われており、例えば The kids decided to bite the bullet and clean their rooms so they could go to the park. 子供たちは公園に行くために観念して部屋の掃除をすることにしたのように使うことができます。先延ばしにしていたことややりたくないことを我慢してするときに使ってみましょ